Okay, so we talked earlier about factorizing using difference of two squares, and we just need to know the law for that. So the law for factorizing through difference of two squares is if you have a minus, so there's always if there's a minus between it, and that there's two terms. So it's if you've got a minus between any two terms, then you can write this as the square root of the first thing, so square root of a squared is just a, minus the square root of the second thing, which is just b, and then the square root of the first thing, which is just a, plus the square root of the second thing, which is just b. Okay? So remember, two terms with a minus in the middle of it. So if I had a minus b, that is the same as, because there's a minus between two terms, your two things, so square root of the first thing is root a. Square root of the second thing, root b, minus, plus. Okay, so every single time that would multiply out to what you started with. Okay, so if you had a to the 6 minus b to the 6, I'm really going to labor this, you've got a minus between two terms. So square root of the first thing, so remember, a to the 6 square rooted is the same as 6 times a half, so that's a cubed in both brackets. B cubed in both brackets, minus, plus, okay? So whatever the square root is of that one goes in here, whatever the square root of that one goes in here. So this becomes quite easy, doesn't it? Because there's a minus between two terms. So brackets, minus, plus, straight away, you've done half of it. Square root of the first thing, 81 is 9. Square root of the second thing, so 9x squared. The square root of 9 is 3. The square root of x squared is x. And it's done. Okay? It's written in your completeness, your difference of two squares form. Let's try another one. So you've got a minus between two terms. Okay, great. So minus plus. Square root of the first thing is 4. Square root of the second thing. So square root of 49 is 7. Square root of x squared is x. So you're done. It's always good to box your final answers. All right? Any more? So 8 minus x. Okay, not going to panic. It's got a minus in between them. So that means I could, if I wanted to, write this as a difference of two squares. So the square root of 8, square root of 8. The square root of x, square root of x. Do you see? I'm not going to panic about it. Just remember, square root of 8 is the same as 2 root 2, because from our surds work, we know find the square number, root 4 times root 2, and root 4 is 2. Okay, so you could write this like so, but the square root of 8 is fine. It depends on the situation. Okay, so box your final answers as standard. This time we've got x to the 4 minus y to the 4. Again, there's a minus between two terms, so brackets, minus, plus. Square root of x to the 4 is x squared. Square root of y to the 4 is y squared. Box final answers, done. Do you see? Difference of two squares should be nice and okay. And that's the end of that video.